You are wasting your time. I have already claimed this place for myself, which means you are trespassing. And I am very territorial.
The Queen Leech is the most imposing force that Rebecca Chambers and Billy Coen will have to contend with during the events of the game Resident Evil 0. Born from James Marcus's obsession with the Progenitor Virus, the Queen Leech would be his greatest creation after over a decade of diligent study. After Marcus's death in 1988, it would be the Queen who would take up his mantle, assuming his identity and thinking of itself as Marcus Reborn. This newfound identity leading the Queen to enact revenge upon Umbrella, who was responsible for his death.
It was I who scattered the T-virus in the mansion. Needless to say, I contaminated the train too.
What?
Revenge on Umbrella.
The story of the Queen Leech as we know it begins with a man named James Marcus and his research into a virus he'd found in Africa dubbed Progenitor. For many years, Marcus would delve deep into research surrounding this virus, attempting to take it from its highly lethal base and evolve it into a less lethal strain that could force those infected to evolve. For years, he failed to expand its capabilities, but eventually in 1977, he would see his first big breakthrough when mixing Progenitor with Leech DNA, creating an offshoot virus which he would dub Tyrant. Over the next decade, Marcus would work to test his new concoction, infecting animals and humans alike to see how they would be affected. However, despite his desire to expand T's capabilities on humans, the successes he would see in leeches would encourage him to continue in that research as well. These experiments would lead to the creation of the Queen Leech. But while Marcus was tinkering away in his laboratory, other members of the Umbrella Corporation began to desire these advancements for themselves. Specifically, a man named Oswell E. Spencer, who in 1988 would make his move. Spencer would have Marcus assassinated, two of his best pupils, Albert Wesker and William Birkin, taking his research and tossing his corpse into the sewers beneath the laboratory. For them, this mission was a success, leaving the facility and considering the matter ended as they went on to expand the research. However, while they had killed Marcus the man, they'd failed to destroy his legacy.
It took the T-virus inside of my queen years to procreate my new life.
While out looking for food, Marcus's Queen Leech would happen upon its creator's corpse. Seeing it as a food source, it would begin to consume it. And as it ate his brain, Marcus's own memories would start to become the leech's. It would begin to assume its creator's identity, taking on his characteristics, adjusting to his mannerisms, learning how to speak just as he had. In the darkness, the Queen would work to perfect this new identity, all the while growing ever angrier at the corporation that had killed the man it now believed itself to be. For 10 years, the Queen would fine-tune its mimicry of Marcus, until eventually, in May of 1998, it would decide that it was finally time to enact its revenge. Starting with the Spencer estate where Wesker and Birkin had taken Marcus's work, the Queen would force an accident that would unleash a strain of the T-virus known as Epsilon. This outbreak would destroy the facility, and in the chaos, several BOWs would escape their confinements, finding their way into the Arclay Woods and causing media interest. Around the same time, Umbrella had begun to make plans to reopen the training facility where Marcus had died, and the Queen would dispose of the initial investigation team that was surveying the property, as well as a train full of Umbrella employees being sent to re-establish the facility. These attacks would catch the attention of both Wesker and Birkin, who would come together to investigate the disturbances and try to put a stop to them. The Queen Leech, though, would make first contact, introducing itself as James Marcus and chiding the pair for the part that they'd played in his death. The Queen's knowledge of their past betrayal would threaten their futures with Umbrella, and Birkin would make plans to destroy the training facility and thus the evidence of their misdeeds. However, for the Queen, a new threat was becoming ever more pressing. A STARS operative named Rebecca Chambers and a military prisoner named Billy Coen had managed to find themselves in the training facility. Pressing further and further into the location, the Queen would make several attempts to stop the pair from encroaching on its den. But as they bested its forces every step of the way, it would finally decide that it needed to take care of this threat itself. The Queen Leech is among the most interesting BOWs that can be found on the grounds of the abandoned Umbrella training facility, a relic of the corporation's past come back to haunt them. It would be this creature that would orchestrate the first real blows to Umbrella's public perception, inciting events that would affect some of the most important people we've come to know. And while this confused imposter would never live to see its mission made manifest, in the end, it set the events in motion that would lead to the exact outcome it desired.
Hey, Queenie! Feast on this!